In the heart of the village lived two sisters, Amara and Essie. They shared the same mother, the same father, and the same hearth, but there was nothing else they shared. They were divided by the cruelest thing of all, fortune. Essie was sturdy. She was strong in the fields, but she was plain. Her hair was thin, a dry patch that refused to grow past her shoulders. Amara, however, was blessed. She was known throughout the land, not just for her bright eyes and gentle spirit, but for her hair. It was a thick, shining river of black coil that tumbled down her back. It was her glory. The young men came from far and wide, bringing gifts and praises, but their eyes and their requests were always for Amara. Essie sat alone in the dust, her heart hardening like sun-baked clay. "The gods favor her," Essie would whisper to the fire, the venom rising in her throat. "They give her everything, and me nothing." Every compliment Amara received felt like a painful slap across Essie's face. Essie's envy did not just grow. It became a monstrous, hungry thing inside her chest. Essie watched Amara, waiting. She did not want Amara to die. She only wanted Amara to be brought down. She wanted the shame, the humiliation that she herself felt every day. One scorching morning, Amara set off on a long journey to a distant city market. Essie, feigning sisterly devotion, packed her a gourd of cool water and fruit. Into the water, Essie dropped a bitter powder. Not enough to kill, but enough to bring a deep, irresistible sleep. Amara, tired from the road and parched by the heat, drank deeply. She soon grew heavy, her eyelids drooping. She lay down in the shade of a magnificent, ancient Iroko tree and slipped into a deep, feverish slumber. Essie, who had followed her sister secretly, found her there. The magnificent, thick black hair was spread out on the grass like a sleeping river. Essie pulled out the sharp knife she had hidden beneath her shawl. Her hands trembled, not with fear, but with years of bitter resentment, finally finding release. She did not trim. She did not snip. She chopped. When Amara finally awoke, the sun was sinking. She lifted her hand to her head, found the crown cold, and felt the rough, painful stubble where her glory had been. She saw the mess of shining black coils scattered around her, her identity, her fortune, stolen in an instant. Amara did not cry out for help. She understood immediately. Only Essie, her sister, could have been so cruel. Amara wept, but her tears were hot with righteous pain. She gathered every strand, every coil, burying the entire mass deep beneath the roots of the same colossal Iroko tree. Then, she swore a powerful oath to the spirits of the deep earth, to the ancestors, and to the powerful Iroko itself. Her voice was thin, but steel hard. "Let justice find the hand that stole my joy. Let the punishment be the perfect echo of the crime." Amara returned to the village, her head shrouded in a simple cloth. Essie played the role of the sympathetic sister perfectly, but secretly, Essie danced with triumph. Now, the suitors glanced at Essie, seeing only the shame and misfortune that had befallen Amara. The village believed the disaster was an accident, a random act of savagery. But the earth knew the truth. 3 months passed. Amara wore her scarf with quiet dignity, while Essie bloomed, finally enjoying the attention she felt she deserved. One morning, Essie went to the river to fill her pot, taking the path that led past the great Iroko tree. Suddenly, she stopped. A sound reached her ears, a clear, beautiful, melodic singing. It was rising straight out of the earth at the foot of the Iroko tree. Essie crept closer, convinced she would find magic, or perhaps a buried treasure chest left by the thief who supposedly attacked Amara. She dug quickly and furiously in the soft earth. She found no gold and no chest. Instead, she found a single, vibrant, impossible black plant growing out of the exact spot where Amara had buried her hair. The plant bore one single, strange, purple fruit. Essie, driven by pure greed, thought, "If this fruit sings, imagine the magic it holds." She yanked the plant out by its roots and bit into the fruit. It tasted like bitterness and ash. She tossed the remainder away, disappointed, and returned to the village. That night, Essie fell into a deep, uneasy sleep. She awoke with a scream. It wasn't a nightmare. It was the feeling of her skin tearing. From the crown of her head, not her own thin thatch, but Amara's thick, black, shining hair, had begun to erupt. It was the stolen hair, but multiplied 100 times over. It grew faster than bamboo, pouring down her back, across the floor, and coiling around her ankles. By the time the sun fully rose, the beautiful, heavy river of black hair reached her knees. Essie stared at her reflection in the water pot. She was beautiful, finally. She had the hair of a queen, but the hair did not stop. It grew throughout the day. She had to constantly climb onto a stool to keep her head above the growing mound. It grew so fast that it was like a living thing, moving on its own. The weight was the first punishment. The hair was impossibly thick, making her head throb and her neck muscles scream with pain. By the third day, the sheer weight of the growing mass dragged Esai down to the floor. She tried to walk, but the hair was everywhere. It tangled itself around the chair legs, snaked under the doors, and formed thick, painful, beautiful coils around her ankles. It had become a monstrous, inescapable burden. She could not leave the compound. The wind outside tangled it into knots that tore at her scalp. If it rained, the hair soaked up the water, and the crushing weight threatened to break her neck entirely. Essie was imprisoned by the very beauty she had coveted and stolen. Essie screamed for her father to cut it. Her father seized his sharpest machete and brought it down on the thickest coil. The ancestral oath that Amara had sworn protected the hair. The machete shattered against the strands, and the iron fragments flew back, scarring Essie's face. No tool, no knife, and no fire could damage the beautiful curse. Every day, Amara would come to Essie's side. She would sit, quiet and serene, and gently comb the suffocating strands for her sister. Essie would weep, begging, take it back. This curse is too heavy." Amara would simply reply, "It is not a curse, my sister. It is the perfect echo of your deed. You stole my joy, and now you must wear the consequence until the spirits release you." The village knew the truth instantly. Essie was publicly shamed, punished not by death, but by being forced to wear the crushing, beautiful, inescapable weight of the very envy that had consumed her. Essie lived out her days trapped in her home, the victim of her own twisted desire, slowly wasting away beneath the coils of shining black hair. Amara lived on, finding love and happiness, proving that true beauty comes not from what grows on your head, but from the spirit in your heart. And the village learned the lesson. The earth hears the oaths sworn upon it, and the seeds of envy always grow into the heaviest, most suffocating of burdens.